you guys work really hard at what you do. I appreciate it. But in draft and free agency, I'm not going to answer phone calls and texts and stuff like that. So it's not personal, but it's so crazy. I just don't have time, and I don't want to do it for one of you guys and not for somebody else. And I'm not doing it with national people either. So don't get mad if I don't respond. But that's what I wanted to say first. So good.
Plus, you're a little busy. You got like 4 days to prepare for the draft, right?
Two. Now two. What was 4? So yeah, it's that's the one disadvantage, if there's any, of playing that deep. Obviously, I'm not winning. There's not a lot of prep time in our sport. I don't think like any other. You play that far, which is what you want to do. But if you're not successful, it does hamper your ability to prepare for the draft and free agency. So I'm behind. We're behind, but we're trying to catch up, and I think we can. But there's not a lot of. It's one marathon ended and the other. Got a drink of water, and now we're moving on. So
I know you guys do prep throughout the year, but what are these final couple days like as you're working on your board and getting everything together? There's a window up. It's what a war room. It's what I imagine most war rooms look like. Some are more technologically savvy than ours. We still use the whiteboard, but we're ranking players by position. We're ranking them in order. We're hypothesizing of what the draft might look like for other teams, getting a sense of who might be there when we pick. We just had a workout today for 6 guys. With our medical staff, it's kind of, unfortunately, we're compressing a lot of things into the next. What was yesterday, today. Had all the exit interviews yesterday. 15 interviews with all our players. So it's pretty busy. Is there a priority for the position, or is it just best guy available? What are you guys looking for?
Pretty much best guy. If you can get a player at 30 that can be a rotational player, I think you've done well. So the goal is to find a guy that we think can play, and we hope one will be there, but you just never really know. So we'll look for somebody that kind of fits our system. I'll talk to Steve and get his sense, and we'll narrow it down to 4 or 5 guys, and hopefully one of them will be there. And again, a guy that we think can step in and at least give us something next year, not start, but play some minutes. Be nice.
You obviously didn't get anything. Do you just pencil him in as a guy that can compete for a roster spot next year, or do you even know? I mean, a rotation spot next year, or do you even know at this point?
I think he can. We got to get him healthy, and he'll be back for camp, from my understanding. It's hard for me to speculate on what a player will or won't be. He's young. He's got a lot of skills. He's worked very hard to recover. And our hope is that he can give us some minutes next year. But without seeing him play at this level, and him being youthful and not entirely healthy, it's hard to speculate as to what he will give. But the hope is he gives us something in minutes.
With all the free agents you have, where does Looney work in? Like, okay, we got to keep this guy, or we can't let this guy go.
It's hard. It's hard to know. There's no certain answer to where we can. I can guess and pencil him in or put him in pen, but it doesn't matter because we don't know. It's just a guess. He didn't get to practice a ton. I think the hope was, I don't know that we can rely upon anything for sure. We're going to try to get better in the draft. We'll try to get better in free agency at every position, or whatever we can or can't do. But Looney, the hope would be he can give us something. It's just hard to speculate as to how much. So.
How was yesterday? I mean, Clay sat here and he wants to get away from basketball for a while, and Draymond's ready to get back into it and play in the Olympics.
Right.
And some guys are. Steph is done for the summer.
Right. Everybody's different. I felt a lot better after the exit interviews than I did before, because it's always, for me, I was wondering how our players would react or process losing in Game 7 after the season we had. But what I saw and what I heard was really encouraging from a maturity standpoint, from a learning capacity, from a processing. And Sean Livingston, it was really poignant. He said, "How am I supposed to feel?" And I said, "Not good." It's not supposed to feel good to lose like we did. It's supposed to hurt, and that's what drives you. But I told Sean, I said, "You were drafted 3rd or 4th or whatever he was drafted, and you were on your way." He was on his way 10, 12 years ago to being one of the stars of the league, and he got hurt. And he had to play for 7 or 8 teams, was told he couldn't play again. And then he came back and he won a championship. And I said, "Sean, my bet is you are a better person because of getting hurt and feeling that pain than you would be had your career just taken off and ascended. And my hope is that from losing like we did, we can all be better at what we do. I can be better, the players, and I think we can. Because in some ways I feel like what has happened the last 2 years went in the wrong order. This was supposed to happen last year, and then we were supposed to win this year. So you have to experience in the business of sports, in the competition of sports, we got to experience the best and the worst in some capacity in a span of 2 years. So we now we know what both feel like. And that's important in this job. It's important for me, it's important for our players, our coaches, but that's experience that's hard to find. You can play for 20 years and never win in the finals or lose in the finals. And it hopefully elevates you and propels you going forward. So it was good. I didn't hear a lot of people blaming anyone else. I didn't hear people not taking responsibility for what they could do better. So it was really encouraging from my position. It was.
For you personally, having to keep busy with the draft and with free agents, the heartbreak?
Yeah, I think so. Although you don't want to ignore, you don't want to not breathe. My wife and I went home after the game. We actually each poured a glass of whiskey, which I never drink whiskey. And she said, "What do you want to eat?" And I said, "I don't know." And she had an old hamburger and I had a grilled cheese sandwich. And you need to take time to feel it, because I knew after whatever it was, Sunday night, this was going to start. So I think in life you have to stop, even when things are really hard, and feel it. And then it's all up to us how long we want to feel it for. I mean, like you said, some players can move on quicker than others, but that's okay. We all process things. We all process success differently, and not succeeding differently. So for me, it was good to take some time to acknowledge what happened, think about it, feel it, and then hang on to the parts that you can use and let go of some of it. But for me, yeah, being busy is probably good too.
Bob, in those exit interviews, are they at all helpful as to what guys' motivation are? The free agents potentially, do they express that they want to come back, or how do those work in that regard?
Yeah, I think I didn't hear anybody that doesn't want to come back, and I think that's a testament to the coaches and the players and the camaraderie that they build and the chemistry that they have. It's a very high-functioning environment, and we all try, someone in my position in our front office and ownership, you want that, and you try to cultivate that, but sometimes even the best intentions don't result in a good locker room. But we somehow were able to find it, and the players are the ones that see it the clearest. They know if they're in a good locker room or not. So for them, it was clear whether we won or lost, they had a good experience together. And so I did hear from a lot of them that, or all of them, they were happy. And I said, could we have done anything different, or what areas can we improve? And to a man, they all said, I hope I can be here a long time, or I hope I can come back. And I can tell you that's probably not the case in most exit interviews, if you're being honest.
Bob, you have a good power forward. How much turnover do you think we can see on your roster next season, not including those guys?
I think we have a pretty good roster, period. One that won 73 games and was capable of winning a championship. I don't know that there's rosters that are much better, and I'm not tooting our horn in the front office, but I do think that with the coaches and with the dedication of the players, it was a roster that obviously achieved a tremendous amount. Walked right up to the edge of winning a championship. So we have to, after the draft, myself, ownership, the rest of the front office, Steve, get together and figure that question out. What, if anything, is needed? And that's what we do every day. There's such a fine line between winning and losing. If you win, you do nothing. If you lose, you do everything. And so that's what you have to take some time. And for me, it'll be post-draft, thinking about where can we be better? Where are we good? What's an emotional response to the roster? How much distance do you need? Unfortunately, our free agency is coming. It's probably not the right amount of time to process what had happened and be smart about it, because you don't want to be rash. So I like a lot of things about the team. Most importantly, I like who they are. I like who the guys are, which is a really good group. And so we have to be careful as to how we move forward with things. And we will be, and we understand what we have, and we don't want to make any mistakes.